I got locked up for blackmail, demanding money with extortion and threats to kill. I lost my father in there, and they didn't let me go to funeral. I just went against the system and started playing up and going a bit mad. Banged a few kids out and what have you. Put me down the block on a GOAD, a good order and discipline. I heard a whisper, Decareggi's landed. And I thought, what? What are the chances of this? I thought, this can't be right. I thought, no way. No way they're going to have him in the same jail as me. When I've gone into the library, been chilling, and you've got a good view who's coming up. Like 4 or 5 and I've seen Decareggi coming down. And I just nodded to my mate, nudged my mate, I said, yo, it's happening. And I've waited for him to come through into the doorway. As soon as he's coming into the doorway like that, bang! I've landed the aim maker on him, busted his nose, and then, like I said, I've charged him, gone straight over the deck, and then response is going off. Before you know it, the library's full with about 30 screws. Then bang, right, you're coming with us, you're following us, chuck me back down the section.
Yes, people, welcome back to Not Guilty TV. Today, delighted to have friend of the channel back on for his 4th interview, fresh out for 2025, Brett the Machine May. How we doing, brother?
I'm all right, my mate, you?
Yeah, not bad, thank you. So, how long you been out?
About 13 days now, I think.
Perfect timing for obviously the New Year's and that. You managed to have a good drink, get it out your system and ready to hit 2025 hard then, yeah?
Ready, mate, ready. Just come out of the gym now, pal, yeah? Ready to rock and roll, mate.
Perfect. So you've hit the ground running as well, making noise straight away as always. So tell us, how long were you inside for, Brett, and what were you inside for?
I got locked up for blackmail, demanding money with extortion and threats to kill. And when it got to the day of the court of the trial, them charges got dropped down and I had to plead guilty to an harassment instead, where they gave me a plea bargain and gave me 18 months, and it was time served, really.
Okay, nice. So how long were you inside for then?
So I was inside for about 8.5 months. You know what I mean? But because you get 40% off now for everyone what gets convicted under 2 years, as long as it's not a domestic or an hate crime, you get 40% off. So it was time.
Yeah, so you had a bit of a touch then when it came to court then. And so what were the circumstances, did you say? Was it a drug dealer that you were?
So basically, they thought I was going around putting pressure on drug dealers and that, and taking the money off them and that, telling them that they had to give me money and all this and that. So really, it was silly, really, because a lot of people shot themselves in the foot and got themselves on top by going to the police, telling them what they was doing, what activities they was involved in, and basically said they had me at their address every day demanding money off them and what have you. So, you know what I mean? They're probably going to end up getting arrested a couple of months down the line and probably get conspiracy charges or something.
Yeah, it's crazy. They're putting themselves on the radar and trying to get protection, which you can't do when you're in a life of crime, can you?
No, you can't sit on two sides of the fence, but I'm all right saying that. You're probably aware yourself now. It's all changed. It's not like how it used to be back in the day. All these people who's into crime, into drugs and what have you. There's only about 10% of serious kids left. All the rest are just straight working with police or grassing people up and making statements.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, the criminal code's pretty much done out there, the old school respects and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, anyone who thinks they can get into the life of crime and there's honor and respect and all this sort of stuff in it, they're heavily mistaken. So what jail were you in then, Brett, for the last 8.5 months?
They kept me in HMP Hull on this one.
HMP Hull. And how was that then? And how far is that away from where you are then? There's still...
Well, from Doncaster, about an hour and 15 minutes or something. So not too far, really.
And how was it in there then?
Well, Hull's got a reputation as it is mainly for the screws and what have you. The screws are well known in there for delivering punishment, just like they are at Winston Green in Birmingham, exact same. But yeah, it's a rundown jail. The wing I was on, D wing, was an old 18th century wing where it was an old hanging wing. Rats everywhere, rat infested. I remember a big old rat coming in my cell and grabbed a big book and chucked it down, nearly took its head off. It just hissed at me and didn't move. You know what I mean? There's rats everywhere, mate. Literally.
Yeah, people would believe the fucking rats you see in prison and that. They're the size of fucking cats and that. And I remember when I was first in prison and that, and I see the bars and all the railings on the first floor, but they weren't on the second or third floor. So I said to the officers, "Why have you only got these fucking bars and railings on the first floor? Like, but people can climb out." And they said they're not to keep you from climbing out; they keep the rats from climbing in. And I thought,
Yeah,
you know,
that's what they
dirty.
do. It's like same as when I was in Humber, they got a load of cats together. I think they got something like 50 cats to spread around the jail to keep it on a level. And they're saying that Hull's going to do that soon because they said the rat poison, what they were putting down with the extermination team, the rats, when they were having it, must have been pregnant and they've given birth to rats what are immune to the rat poison. There's that many of them and they're massive, mate. They're like dogs. Literally massive. You know what I mean?
Cool.
Horrible.
And so, did you keep yourself busy in there? Were you on the server or anything like this, or were you in the gym and that work training?
I started off good. I become a PID worker on D wing, which is like equivalent to a wing rep. If anyone knows what a wing rep is, I had that job roughly for about 5 months, and then obviously when I lost my father in there, and they didn't let me go to funeral. I just went against the system, and yeah, and that was that really, mate. You know what I mean? Started playing up and going a bit mad.
That's understandable. So, RIP to your dad. Yeah, not good. Obviously tragic, and then to lose him when you're in there as well, even worse. And then for them to not let you go to the funeral is a fucking disgrace. What were their reasons, Brett, for not letting you go?
Well, the first one when I got in touch with number one governor who come and see me, he said, "Look, he says I'm going to try my best to get this sorted out." Sean Mycroft, he were called number one. He says because everyone should have a right to see their own father's funeral. I says, "Well, you're in charge of this establishment, mate. You can make it happen." And he says, "Yeah, but you are pretty high profile, aren't you?" And I said, "There was no one more high profile than the Craze, mate. You know what I mean? And you let the Craze go, didn't you?" You know what I mean? So I says Ian Huntley were high profile, killed two little girls, but you let him go, didn't you? You know what I mean? I says, who am I? I says, I've been a PID worker for 6 months, not even got into no fights, not even got into anything, kept my head down. I've been looking after yous on the wing, making sure the wing runs smooth. And I says, and then you're going to knock me back. And he said, it's overall not my decision, it's the police. And I says, why has it got to be to do with the police, mate? He says, well, the police have got security concerns. I says, what do you mean? Why would they want to have security concerns? And he turned around and he says, we have intelligence that apparently there's £100,000 contract on my head to be shot dead. That's what he said. The police told him. He said they wanted counter snipers at the funeral. He says also, they says me and my family's got links to OCG crimes, and they don't know if I'm going to either break away or escape or there'd be any violence at the funeral. I said, mate, I'm on a shitty little charge here. I says, which I'm probably going to be out within a couple of months. I says, no one's going to risk no escape. I said, no one's stupid. I said, I just want to put my dad to rest. I says, and that's all God's honest truth. And he said, I'll get back to you. And then a couple of days later, he comes back and he says, oh, it's looking like it's not going to happen. And I just said, why? And he says, all right, Security Governor Norman don't think it's suitable, saying that we want an armed police escort there on the way. And I thought, I'm not a Cat A prisoner, mate. I says, that's only what you do to Cat A prisoners. I says, this is a Category B prison. I says, if that's the case and you think I deserve an armed response vehicle in a meat wagon, then why didn't you put one in when I was on my way to court? I said, I've been going to court cases. Why wouldn't you put one in then? I could quite easily escape if I'm on my way to court, can I? Just the same as I could go into a funeral. I said, it don't make sense. I said, someone's obviously don't like me from what I used to be like before in jail, because I've cracked a few screws in the time in HMPL, and you're obviously stinging me now. You know what I mean? And trying to break me. You know what I mean? But you'll never break me. So they said, look, how about, would you want to watch it on an iPad upstairs? I said, I don't want to watch it on an iPad, no. So I want to watch my dad's funeral like everyone else is entitled to. It's only up the road. It's only Doncaster. It's an hour away. It's not like I'm in London, is it? And next minute, come to the day at funeral, they says, right, but they're not going to let you know if you're going to go or not, just like how you would on a hospital appointment, because for security concerns, if you're going to go, they're going to take you there and then in the morning. Morning, coming to my dad's funeral. Woke up, got myself ready. Bang, door didn't open. Put my bell on, and they went, yeah, it's been knocked back. The police and the governor don't think it's suitable. And I'm thinking, why are the police coming into this? What's it got to do with these people? You know what I mean? A prison is an independent body. When you're inside that jail, the prison is responsible for you. Do you know what I mean? Try to treat me like I'm Pablo Escobar or El Chapo. I'm just a guy from Doncaster who's doing a bit of boxing and what have you, who likes a bit of a row. Yeah, I've got a bit of a reputation, but these guys trying to treat me like I'm some fucking Interpol's most wanted. You know what I mean?
And if you were looking at or serving a 20-year sentence and just at the start of it, you could half understand, but you're out of jail a couple of months later. So it's a fucking disgrace. Like, what are you going to do? Break out armed fucking escape from your dad's funeral? Ruin the funeral? No, you're fucking not. You just want to see your dad away. Do you know what I mean? It's a disgrace.
100%, my mate. I can't agree more. So, but what can you do with these things?
Yeah, no, of course. My thoughts proper weird for you and that, and obviously my thoughts go out to family and rest in peace to your dad. Yeah, I heard he was some man. So yeah.
Nice one, mate. Rest in peace, Tony May, my father. Cheers, my
Yeah,
bro.
and so obviously, understandably, you've ended up losing the plot at that point and whiling out. And so, what do you do? End up down the block?
So yeah, I was on the way end of obviously, as you can imagine. Any little slight thing. To be fair, I probably might have been looking for a couple of arguments as well. So I've pretty much got my son a bit to blame there, and I just snapped out, banged a few kids out, and what have you. Put me down the block on a GOAD, a good order and discipline, because they said they had security intel that the drones what were coming in were all linked to me like that, and they said they've got no evidence to it, but they says we can just GOAD you now on intel. So when they've GOAD'd me, put me down the block, been down there for like 20 odd days, and yeah, mate, times get deep down there, as you know. We've got the Bible, got
Oh,
books.
mate, it's so hard for me anyway. I struggle in the block. It's so hard, even at the fucking best of times. So when you've just lost your dad and you've got that to fucking rot your mind with, it must have been fucking a horrible, lonely time for you, those 20 days.
Listen, 100%. I'm not going to lie. Them times are the most deepest times of my life, by far. You know what I mean? By far the deepest most times of my life. But I just had to say to myself, "Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, my dad would want me to be strong. You know what I mean? Simple as that. My dad was like me. He'd done 20 years behind bars himself. You know what I mean? He was a well-known hard man in Doncaster, and I thought I'm gonna have to turn it up a notch. So I just started training hard, and yeah, you got exercise for 15 minutes a day, a shower for 10 minutes a day, and a phone call for 15 minutes a day. You're not allowed to talk to any other prisoners. You're not allowed to see any other prisoners. You go on a little exercise yard in a box on your own. That's it, really. Don't get it twisted. Them institutions and that segregation there is designed to break you, and it's up to you. However you channel your mind, your body can be in jail, but your mind can be elsewhere. So I just trained it out, got into the Bible, mate, and read a few books when I was down there, and smashed it out, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, fair play to you. Like I said, it's either going to make or break you. They've designed it to break you, but you've come out of it stronger, which is what it's all about. You know, tough times creates tough men, you know?
Oh,
So,
100%. 100%.
and so talk to us about you ended up catching up with your old mate Decker Heggie when you were in Hull, didn't you?
Yeah. Decker, what a guy. To be fair with you, yeah, the mystery still continues. I know what everyone's going to ask: is he 100% a bacon? Was he on a bacon wing? Now, well, what I'm going to say to you is, an HMP Hull on the induction wing is 50% wrong-uns, 50% mains. And if anyone's been in HMP Hull, they'll tell you the same.
That's a lot with a lot of the induction wings around the country, though. And you get the ones behind their door and all that. You do get it in other jails, so it's half normal on induction wings, isn't it? And they're
Yeah,
denying what they're in there for, all that sort of shit. Behind my door for security, blah blah blah.
yeah. You do. You are right. You are right. But like when I've done a lot of times in Marshgate and Moorlands and Lindholm and what have you, there's none of that handumber. But a Hull, it's like the wrong uns are mainly protected. They've got all the best jobs. Yeah, they work down the kitchens. I've seen them screws in that old jail do some naughty things. You know what I mean, and leave people half dead. You know what I mean, and I've done it when I've a few years ago in the past where I've cracked a few wrong uns. So every time I go to the induction wing, they put me behind my door for that day, and my food gets brought to my door for me. And then, by the time the morning comes, if not the same day, I get sent straight over to the other side, which you've got B, C, and D, and A wing, and the infamous pipe unit. Now, the infamous pipe unit is where Charles Bronson took the art teacher hostage, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah.
That's that's where he took the art teacher hostage. He painted the art teacher, and that wing's famous for having Charles Bronson on it. Like Charles was there for a long time, and also Paul Sykes was on that unit for quite a while. Now on that wing, on the pipe unit, which were next door to me, you've got people doing the full HMP life tariff sentences. You got serial killers. You've got paedophiles who's never getting out. You've got everyone who you can imagine on the sun. But I think they only hold 16 prisoners on that wing, and I've only passed through that wing. I've never been on it myself. You know what I mean? You've got some big units on there. So when I were doing the strongman comps, it was always usually them guys what was on there, what was like competing with me, because they are big old units, but they're spending the rest of their lives in jail. They're never getting out. Now, like getting back to the wrong uns with Decker, when I was on the induction wing, got sent over to the other side, I heard a whisper, Decker Eggy's landed. And I thought, what? What are the chances of this? I thought, this can't be right. I thought, no way. No way they're going to have him in the same jail as me. And then all of a sudden I put feelers out. It was true. There he was. You're on induction wing, which is right at the other side of the jail to me. And the only way I could see him is if I go to the gym, and if I'd catch him on the line route, or I'd be able to speak to him through the window side at the gym on the AstroTurf. So anyway, when I've gone to the gym, I thought I'll see if it's true, because a few of my pals are doing a big bird on their conspiracy to murder, Jason Smith and Paddy Jones, what have you. So when I've gone on to the AstroTurf, I've shouted them over, and they were the PID workers on there, the wing reps. I said, "Yo, Jason," I says, "is Decker on the or what?" He went, "Yeah, mate, yeah." He says, "I've heard about a story, mate." He says, "He don't want no trouble here. He don't want to fight." He said, "He's all about the clicks and views." He said, "He don't want no beef, mate." I said, "Shout him up anyway. Tell him I want him." So anyway, Jason's obviously gone and got Decker, who's been given a laundry job on the induction wing straight away within one day. So he's come over, little stocky thing like that, walks over, he's like, "All right, Brett, mate, how are you? All this and that." And I said, "What's happening, Decker?" I said, "Look," I said, "I'm going to have to tell you face to face first." I said, "Do you want to have a fight or what?" I says, do you want to get this out sorted? Have a straightener and shake hands." He said, "Nah," he says, "I'm all for the clicks and views." That's all he said to me, straight to my face. And second question was, I said, "Look," I said, "there's a lot of bad rumours about you." I said, "Hey, you're wrong." Straight to his face, in front of everyone, yeah. He went, "Brett, mate," he said, "they're all stitching me up." These are his exact words. And he says, "He's in here for inciting racial hatred, for putting something on about the grooming gangs and Tommy Robinson and all that stuff." Do you know what I mean? So I've gone, "All right," and Decker. And I was talking to him all right at first, all right terms, thought everything was sound. That was that. I went back to the wing. As soon as I'd gone back to the wing, obviously a few lads what's left the induction wing and ended up on my wing started telling me things, obviously, like he said, a bit biased. "Oh yeah, it'd be a good fight, me and Brett, and Brett should fight Venice on my card on the PPV, and I'll fight Christie, and it'll be do massive numbers." And I thought I'd let a few things go, this and that. And then he confided in one of my pals, a gypsy fella called Jim Feetham. He lives next door to Tyson Fury in Morecambe. Now, Jim's come to the wing and told me, he says, "Right, Decker's been charged with another offence, a sexual offence." Yeah. And he says, "But he's not hiding it. He's been honest to me. He's been honest to the boys over there. And he's basically repping it, to be fair. But he's repping it on an induction wing where 50% are paedophiles, but 50% are mixed. So it's one of them. He wasn't on a full fucking paedophile wing, but he was on a mixed wing. So he could blend it, like you said." So I passed the message on. I said, "Yo," I said, "you tell him next time he sees me," I said, "we'll have a straightener on site." Yeah. And he said, "Are you sure?" I said, "Yeah, I'm sure." So Jim went and told him, said, "Right, Brett said I'll have a straightener on site." And he just nodded his head and he said, "Whatever then, yeah." So about 2 months have gone past. Us mains can go on the library on a Saturday, but also the VPs can get mixed into it as well. Just like the visits, same as the visits when they put you in a visiting room, you're all mixed and you won't even have a clue who's who. But please believe me, they are mixed. And when I've gone into the library, I've been chilling, and you've got a good view who's coming up down like the line route. So if I looked out the window, I could see what wings coming, like 4 or 5, and I'm seeing Decker there coming down. And I just nodded to my mate, nudged my mate. Yeah, I said, "Yo, it's happening." I mean, you know yourself in jail. If I would have bounced out of that library and gone, "Yo, come here, one-on-one, all this and that," started jumping around, acting an ape, none of you are going to be able to get a punch chucked. The screws are going to grab you. You're going to be sent to that wing. You're going to be sent to that wing. Because there's about 100 screws in there, and you can't beat them when there's too many of them. So it would just be boycotted. So I put me back to the wall, and I've waited for him to come through into the doorway. As soon as he's coming to the doorway like that, bang! I've landed the haymaker on him, bust his nose, and then, like I said, I've charged him, gone straight over the deck. And then he has tried like chucking a little jerky motion, either a defense mechanism or a punch, but it missed away. And then I just bang, caught him on end of beak. As soon as I hit him on the end of the beak, that was it. Screws just jumped on my back. I've grabbed one screw, pushed him onto the wall with the adrenaline. The parva sprayed me to the side of the eyes, and then they pushed me away. And then responses going off. Before you know it, the library is full with about 30 screws. Then bang, right, you're coming with us, you're following us. Chuck me back down the seg for 3 days for assault, and then put me back on the wing. And then, that was it. Decker said that he didn't want no more trouble when he was in jail, but he said he'd have a straightener when he got out. So I said, all right, and cool. I says, whatever. I said, when I see you again on site, we'll have it again. Or if you want a straightener on camera when I get out, I said, whatever, no problem. I said, game on, game as a pebbles. I said, but please believe me, mate. I said, I could put a hit on you now from the cell. I said, I'll put 10 sheets of spice on you. I'll put 20 sheets of spice on you. I'll put $1,000 cash on you if I wanted to. And I'd get you done in seconds. So 4 of my boys, what was on there, went up to him and told him, said, yo, listen, Brett's going to be fair with you and have a fight with you there on camera on the YouTube when he got out, or another straightener. But these 4 kids who I sent were doing long time in jail anyway, 15, 20 years. And they said to him straight to his face, they said, look, if Brett puts it on you, we're going to take it. Meaning we're going to rush you, or we're going to slice you up. We're going to shank you up. It's as simple as that. And he went white. He shit himself. You know what I mean? And that was that, really, bro.
Yeah, fair play for you for sticking it on the wrong. And what people don't realise is that's actually the way things go in prison. And like I said, you're more of a man because it's so easy, like you said, to put a hit on someone. I've seen people get fucked up for 50 shots of spice, for literally 0.2s of spice. People have been fucked up, and the people are begging to do the hit as well. And
yeah, begging, mate. Begging.
So you did the right thing. You acted as a man where you could have so easily done that. And so hopefully now that will lead to a fucking proper fight on a big platform out here at some point then now.
Yeah, 100%. That I've had a message sent to me saying he that's what he wants to do, and obviously I accept that as a man, and it'll do great numbers. It'll do great numbers. Decker, if he is a SO, not an SO, or whatever, the mystery continues. But either way, yeah, it brings big numbers. You know what I mean? He's still a public figure. You know what I mean? But yeah, let's get it
He's
on
got a
it.
profile. And it's not like you're going for tea and coffee. You got to smash his face in. So who cares? Like it is what it is. But you're in a
Yeah.
good position because you've got 3 sort of fights, I think, that are all high profile. You've got the Decker, and obviously I see Danny Christie now sort of calling it on and that. That'd be a great one as well. Much respect to Danny.
100%. Yeah, Danny put one on there, so much respect to Danny. As you're aware, last week Paul Venice said he's locked. He has to recover from his injury. I don't know why he's injured, and I know he's had a bit of trouble with the North East boys with his 25 grand and what have you. But
yeah, of course, and that's obviously the third one that I was going to mention, the Paul Venice. And so, like, what happened before? Like, obviously, that was looking to happen on the BKFC. What was the fallout with the BKFC and Paul Venice? Why didn't it happen? And could that happen this year? And what's the situation with BKFC? Have you spoke to Blackwell since you come out?
Yeah, so basically, me and Paul was respectful. We were all sound. It was just going to be agreed as a good friendly fight on the BKFC. Everything was going to be bang on. Now, while I was training for this fight, he was putting YouTube videos on. I might just come into Doncaster and do a bit of training, watch a bit of fighting, trying to. I don't know. I felt like he was testing the water a bit because you didn't see me putting any videos on saying, "Hey, look at me! I'm in Middlesbrough here. I'm going to Middlesbrough Football Club. I'm going to do this in Middlesbrough." I felt like he was trying to like goad me a little. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
You know
of
what I mean?
course.
By trying to like make out as if he was in my ends and I'm not going to do anything about it, type of thing. So I was like, all right, and then when he was on the phone to me, he says, "Oh, I've even booked myself into a lovely little hotel up your way, Mount Pleasant, 5-star, which is probably the best hotel in Donny, to be fair." And he says, "I'm going to do a little YouTube podcast and that when I'm there on the phone." And that. I says, "Oh yeah, sound." And then he started doing a video how we were going to go down there, have a spar with his missus, take his missus out, and then he was going to go to see Ricardo Franco, who's up in Gainsborough, which is about 45 minutes away from Donny. So I thought I've agreed to this fight, and this guy thinks he can walk up and down my streets in Donny taking videos and podcasts everywhere, trying to mimic me and taking the piss. You know what I mean? Really, I shouldn't have been so hot-headed. I should have really just let it slide. You know what I mean? But I thought, you don't see me on Middlesbrough walking around Middlesbrough streets doing any videos like this, because it's just respect. It's just something you don't do. We have it out of the fight at the ring, and then that's that. So then I thought, right, when he started doing the videos where we were in Donny there at the Mount Pleasant, I've turned up, obviously, masked up one of my pals, but I ain't brought no weapons, just in case for the camera sides at the Mount Pleasant. And then gets him on the phone, and then obviously rings, and I said, right, then we're outside. You've probably all seen the videos anyway. And he just kept putting the phone down. Like that. He's saying, go away, go away, go away. And we said, look, mate, we're outside here now. We're outside ready to rock and roll. Come out. My mate was just going to watch fair play. And I'm just, as soon as he come to the doorway, I was just going to start swinging on him. And then basically, bro, he just locked himself off in Mount Pleasant. The coppers ended up coming. They've ended up giving him a police escort out of Doncaster. And once he took his police escort out of Doncaster, that's when the videos happened. But who comes around with balaclavas on round? A man and a woman and all this and that. And I thought, I ain't come round you, man and your woman. We didn't, no happens here, did it? We was on the phone to you in the car park with a mask on, and you just won't come out. You get me? And then that was that, really, bro.
Well, fucking thankfully, obviously nothing happened then, because when it happens, we all want to see it. Everyone wants to see it. The public want to see it. So thankfully, and so to me, it looked like just brilliant promotion. Like, what's the problem with it? It's like,
Yeah, so he's then got on phone to Bakewell and started saying, look, it's not a sportsmanship thing what he's done. Yeah, things could have gone south. He was saying to Bakewell, oh, fucking, he would have got his hands on a knife and done all this and that. It would have gone south.
You look at Muhammad Ali back in the day when he's fucking going and assaulting people and going and knocking on people's doors and abusing people and all that sort of stuff. And Muhammad Ali's the greatest ever. And that's boxing. We're talking about bare knuckle, which is a bit more of a savage sport. So
100,000,000%, I totally agree. I thought, look on the bright side here. It was great promotion as well. It sold the fight, and look at Conor McGregor, man, when he was chucking chairs through Khabib's bus. You know what I mean?
Of course, this is the fight business. And so, have you had any contact with Bakewell since you've been out?
No, I've not. I've not spoke to Bakewell while I've been out. I spoke to James Cooper, his right hand man, his good best mate. Me and James are sound. I'm gonna message Bakewell at some point this week. But yeah, Bakewell just said to me, he says, look, mate, he says he's pulled out. He says he's took arse on over what's happened. And then he just made the fight impossible. You know what I mean? The fight was still there. Bakewell would have still run it. Yeah. It was just a simple fact is Paul were on the phone to him saying, oh, I'm not having this, mate. I'm not having this. He's not turning up with masks on to hotels where I am for me. Nah, I'm not having this. The fight's off. And then that was that. You know what I mean? And then it screwed me over.
I'd say the best thing for you to do is, if you haven't, give Venice a little message and just say, look, there's not going to be any sort of stuff. I'd love to get on view this year. There's not going to be any bullshit. Get over your injury and get back to me. And then hopefully maybe you can have a word with Bakewell. And it'd be great to see you back on the BKFC at some point in 2025, wouldn't it?
Well, this is what I've done. Venice has been half respectful and put a nice thing about my dad on the internet. So I've been half respectful back and we've sorted it out. And he says, right,
which is what it's about. You're both fucking hard, tough fighting men. All we want to do is see the fight.
Yeah, 100%. So he said he's going to make it happen with Bakewell. He said he's going to have that sorted. He says everything sounds, so we're keeping it respectful now. Like, obviously, I know he's got a lot of shit on at minute, as you've probably seen all over the internet. You know what I mean? With the injury and he's fallen out with some dangerous men with 25 grand and all this and that. But I hope he gets past it, and I hope we get the fight on with the BKFC, and it's nice and respectful for Paul. I ain't got a problem with Paul. I'll just meet him in the ring, simple.
Of course. And so this year, are you going to stay out of trouble, Brett?
Yeah, mate, I'm done, mate. I'm done with jail. I'm done with it, mate. I'm done with it.
You've done enough time behind those bars now, and you've got something to actually do what a lot of people coming out of prison ain't. You've got lots of positive stuff. You concentrate on the fighting and big things will happen.
100%, mate. 100%. That's just my game there now, mate. I'm done with all that. You know what I mean? I'm done with all that crack. I've come out with a humble, positive attitude. I'm keeping it. I'm not letting anyone drag me into any circus or any negativity. I'm just being as polite and respectful as I can. Not bullying anyone. You know what I mean? Showing great manners, mate. And I'll just do my talking in the ring.
Of course. And so I see you mentioning Shadow Bacon. Are you looking to have a little warm-up fight with old Shadow?
Well, it was supposed to be coming down of a week, like that, and then obviously he bottled it. He said he had Dougie Joyce to be his fair play man.
So much shit, doesn't he? It's unbelievable.
I just feel like he soaks the views out here and then don't back it up. You know what I mean? So
100%. You have to be careful and take what he says with a pinch of salt because it's half a comedy act more than anything else, isn't it?
100%. Don't get me wrong. I've watched him where he's boxed. He does half know what he's on with, but
I think
is
so
it
as well.
is it in potato cans? You know what I mean? I'm not a potato can. I eat back. You know what I mean? And I eat harder than him. So if it's still there for Shadow. Anytime he wants to fly over like that and get it on. He said he can beat any Englishman. You know what I mean? His words, not mine. Keep saying it. So we'll see if he can beat this Englishman. And I'm happy to fight Shadow today. Today, if we can get it on. If he can come down today and fight him today, just to get it done with. You get me? But he's a riddler, mate. He talks shit. You know what I mean? He
Of
does talk
course.
shit.
And so, seen you've been straight back flat onto the YouTube since you've been out as well. So for anyone who ain't following, follow Brett on his YouTube channel. I'm sure there's gonna be constant videos coming out on that. And what about the social medias, Brett? I haven't seen you on the Insta or the Facebook yet. Have you got yours? Are you locked out at the moment? What's going on?
I'm locked out of my Insta at the minute, mate. But I'm on social media, but I'm not on it as my real name at the minute, mate. I'm enjoying a bit of privacy on the Facebook. So really, I'm just sticking to YouTube, and I'm just channeling it into that, really, pal. I'm just trying to have a bit of privacy on a lot of socials. I've been thinking about setting a TikTok up this week because I've looked on TikTok and there's a lot of TikToks up with my name in, and they're not even me. I don't know who these people are. And like 15, 20,000 followers, 30,000 followers, and they're not even me. So if I set one up, I'm going to put it out open who it is, and it'll be me, mate.
Yeah, of course. Well, send me the link for it and I'll put that up. But I'd like to obviously wish you the best of luck. Hopefully you can stay out of trouble this year and hopefully we can see you in a few fights, which is the most important thing. But you got any shout outs as well, Brett? Any of the boys that you're inside with or any of your family and friends in general?
Yeah, I'll give some shout outs now. Going shout out to my dad, obviously, Tony Mayo, rest in peace. Love you, my daddy. A shout out to Vincent Bennett, all my boys from Tottenham, all the Tottenham estates. Going out to my boys Mandy and JJ Lauber. Going out to my boys Paddy and Jason Smith. Going out to all the old boys there. Yeah, just going out to everyone who's done time with me. Going out to Binksy, all the York lads. Yeah, Ersty, all the good kids there. But yeah, that's about it, really, mate. And just now, a big shout out to everyone out here, really, who's going to help me forward. All the training, all my gym coaches, and basically all the general public who's got behind me and stayed with me. A shout out to yourself, my mate. You know what I mean? So much love for what you do as well, Paul.
Of course. Well, much appreciate for your time. And we just want to see good things for you this year. But as soon as you got some details of any fights or whatever that lined up, come back on and let us know whatever's going on with you, Brett. We want to get you on a few times this year and make sure you're not in prison. So yeah, let's do it, brother.
Love for that, my brother. You take care, son. Thank you very much.
Nice one. Thanks for your time. Have a good day, Brett.